Recently, I was talking to a friend who is recently divorced, and we started talking about a weird experience we both experienced towards the end of our marriage. Then, after my interview with Giselle Noel of Nagging Thoughts, we got talking about this same experience, seeing a form of hero complex. Maybe you had this happen to you as well. So I thought I would discuss it more. First, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jen Grice, author of the book You Can Survive Divorce. I'm a divorce mentor and empowerment coach guiding women to surviving and thriving after divorce. You can find out more about my ministry, my coaching for women, and my book at jengrice.com. So when dealing with a narcissist, there can be different variations of the same sort of person. Male narcissists can be different from female narcissists, and any narcissist can be different from another. Like I share in another video, there's not black and white people. People have varying nuances. So this is not something I hear often from clients, but I know it happens in some narcissistic relationships. It often happens when the victim hits rock bottom and just can't take anymore. You may feel fully depleted or empty of any sort of self-worth. You may feel there's nothing left that you can do or give. Most times you're crying, and not just a small cry. You're showing some deep despair, major tears, and you just feel like you need someone to fix everything. You often cry out to God because you see no way that things can be fixed at this point. Then in walks the narcissist, who tries and or succeeds in putting his arms around you to make everything better. Just that. A hug, you think is normal. I'm here for you. We'll get through this. But because he's not a normal, healthy person, it's toxic. Sometimes he'll say, see, now we can get somewhere. This is all we needed, basically, for you to surrender. I've so been there. At the end of my marriage, when I said I was done and needed off the roller coaster, he said he wanted a hug and to tell me everything was going to be okay, that I just had to give up the fight, as he put it. Giselle Noel mentioned it like our tears are the sacrifice, and the narcissist being the God to wipe away our tears, which makes things all better. He comes in for the rescue. He comes to save you. He's a hero, wiping away every tear, which is really God's job. He wants to be worshipped like a God and be a savior like Jesus. He's superior to all other men, including God. In doing this, he's created a codependent relationship, even if you're not a codependent person. And I talked about that with Shannon Thomas. He just needed to secure his supply again. You. I also believe that the narcissists get certain moments stuck in their head that they want to recreate. A time when things were perfect. He was the good guy, and you endured him. Like I talked about in the trauma bonding video, the narcissist creates these traumas so that you're even more bonded to him afterwards. You realize you need him, you can't live without him. He's the hero of the story. He wants to rescue you, and then you appreciate all that he's done for you. Wow, look at how great he is, how wonderful, all that he's done. Still black and white thinking, like I talked about in another video. It's the key to psychological abuse. The movie that comes to mind is Misery with Kathy Bates. She was the caregiver, but she was also the psychological abuser. The abuser, who's the bad guy, manipulates the situation by first abusing. Then you feel helpless in your situation, cry out for help, and the abuser comes in as the good guy to save the day. He had to abuse because you need to know who is boss and know that you see him as the good guy that he is, the savior, the rescuer, the hero. You do as he says, and you'll live happily ever after until it happens again, until the abuse cycle repeats itself, because it always does. Or until you realize this is all crazy making and you need to get off the emotional roller coaster for good. No more second thoughts. No more going back. He may be gaslighting falsehoods into your mind, like you're just insecure, and he would never do anything to hurt you, even though you've been hurt many times by his words and actions. He's the one who's insecure, but he wants you to be bonded to him so completely that you believe you couldn't live without him and no one will love you like he does. That passion is just part of the cycle of abuse. And passion is not love. When he's making you believe that it's us against the world, he just keeps you trapped. The only way to break free is to see the truth about the situation. See how he's gaslighting and manipulating you. Don't run into his arms again. Run to a therapist or the domestic violence hotline or shelter for help. This will not end until you decide it's over and that you won't go back. I hope it empowered you and encouraged you in some way today to keep moving forward, keep working on yourself, keep separating from a toxic person or narcissist. If you have any questions or like to share your story, please do so in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video and keep watching. I hope to see you then. God bless.